Alright, welcome to another video here building a wildcard available country in GeoMap using Nuxt 3. So the whole point of this video is to build a GeoMap from the Google chart. Okay, let me set this into English, please. Not in Spanish. That's right. Okie dokie. So the whole point of this is to use this, okay, a GeoMap here, and show what are the available countries where WISE issue their card. Okay. And there you got it, right? So this is the whole point of this. All right. So just to make a quick recap of what is this Google chart. So Google chart is a way to visualize data on your website. Okay, you can use bar graph, pie chart, line graph, area chart, bubble, GeoMap, and so on. So they have a gallery that provides a set of data visualization tools and graphics. Okay, so the way how this Google chart works is by embedding a simple JavaScript files to load the library, then define the data you're going to load as well as the options, and finally with that data inject that to the DOM so it can render it. So because, okay, and this is also important to know the underlying details of this. So chart exposes a JavaScript class, and Google Charts provides many chart types for your use. So the default appearance will usually be all you need, and you can always customize to a chart. However, if I want to take a closer look at the quick start on how this actually works, if you want, for example, show a pie chart like this, first you need to, even though they describe is a process here, so first you need to inject or embed that that library, then load the library, okay, set a callback run when the Google visualization API is loaded, okay, and then define functions where you're going to populate is that chart with a set of data, and provide the customizations or set the options, and ultimately inject that object into the DOM, which is here, right? Okay, so this is broadly speaking, because I will rely here on this library, which is a wrapper of Google Chart View that actually works on version 2 and version 3. Awesome, great. So now let's go to Nuxt here, nuxt.com here, okay, and create a new project from scratch. So this npm, oh my god, okay, so the npm is meaning that it will load the binary files. Just to recap more about this, okay, so npm here, meaning, or let's go for the docs. So run a command from a local or remote npm package. So that's what it does this. So run a command, so run a local or remote node package. In this case is a remote because this is where it's located, and the name of uh, and the name. So where it's located, okay. So if you provide here like this, so what it does is behind the scenes. So this command allows you to run an arbitrary command from an npm package either locally, okay, or fetch remotely in a similar context as running it via npm run. So whatever package are specified by the package options will be provided here. And what it's going to do is, let me keep reading about this. So whatever the package are specified by the -- package options will be provided in the path of the folder of the executor command, along with any local install package executable. So the -- packet options may be specified multiple times to execute the supply commands in an environment where all specified packages are available. So if any request package are not present in the local project dependency, then they are installed to a folder in the npm cache, which is added to the path environment variable is executed in the executed process. A prompt is printed which can be suppressed by providing either yes or no, and package name provided without a specifier will be matched with whatever version exists in the local project. Package name with a specifier will only be considered a match if they have the exact name and version as a local dependency. If no C or call option is provided, then the option arguments are used to generate the command string. If no package options are provided, which is in our case, then the npm will attempt to determine the executable name from the package specifier provider as the first positional argument according to the following heuristic, which is if the package has a single entry in its bin field in package.json, or if all entries are allies of the same command, then the command will be used. Okay, so what it does behind the scenes when you don't call with any package options here, okay, is if the package has a single entry in its binary, which again, what you're going to do first is to run an arbitrary command from an npm package, either one installed locally or fetch remotely, in a similar context as running it via npm run. So if the package has a single entry in its bin binary folder, field in the package.json, or if all entries are allies of the same command, then that command will be used. If the package has multiple bin entries, and one of them match the unscoped portion of the name field, then the command will be used. If this not resulting in exactly one option, either because there are no bin entries or none of them match the name of the package, the npm exit with an error. So what you're gonna do is that locate if that package.json has a bin, it's a binary, okay, and if have multiple binary, well, match the unscoped portion of the name, otherwise throw an error. So to run a binary other than the name binary, specify one or more package options which will prevent the npm from inferring the package from the first command argument. So when run via npm binaries, all flags and options must be set prior to positional arguments. So when run via npm access and -- flag. So what it's doing behind the scene when you run this command, in this case npm will resolve the full package and run the following command. But what it's gonna do here with this command here is to call whatever local dependency or remote, and then run the command from this package, npm package, providing this name. So back to the like this. So back to the what's wrong? Did you got it? That's right. So back to the code here. Let me now paste this command and wait for that, because here the name of this will be the name of this project will be is yscar map, yscar available map, yscar available countries map. Okay, and now, well, behind the scenes it will run Nuxt 3.6.2. okay, and Nuxt project is created with version 3. And now you have to go to this yscar available country map. Okay, and here I'm going to run the code command to now go directly to the repo, or in this case to the working directory, to the local working directory. Okay, and then we got it right. So we have this public servers and the necessary folders to run this command. The necessary folders to run our Nuxt 3 server. Okay. What's wrong? What's wrong? Okay. That's right. So if I now do performing npm run this, of course there is no npm package, so I need to install that npm install. To update that. Alright, so it is all done. And there we got it. Right. So it is important here to update our performance PMP. So meaning that now if I want to install this package, okay, like this, so you can say npm install globally this version of PMP, or you can say something like this. So what it's doing here is to install that npm package and run it locally. Okay. It throws an error here. File already exists. Remove the existing file or try again. Or npm or run npm with force to overwrite files recklessly. So it tells me that, hey, this already exists. PMP. So what about if I can remove that? And if I reinstall that, it's funny because it don't remove that. All right. So let me now remove this in a forceful way, this folder. All right, and install that again. All right. So now if I check the performing npm version, we are downloading is version 8. Okay, it doesn't matter. It actually is downloading that. So let me remove that folder again and now install that with the particular version. So meaning is the package version, in this case is performance PNP. All right, so performance PNP as well as the version. Come on, man. As well as the version, where in this case the latest version is this. Okay, so be my guest. And now if I check the version, I'm still getting is this version. So you're reading is a file. So you're reading is a file different. Okay, because you're reading it locally. I get it. So you're using is this local version. Okay. So you're using is this local version. So for example, if I remove that in a forcefully and recursive way, as well as the other folder from the node version, and now install that with the latest version here. Okay, performance npm version. It's not a directory command. Okay, so meaning that I need to install that again. So meaning that we're installing that again. Yep, that's right. So meaning that it can is now uninstall this version because actually it's not using that. And using this command. So if I run this, I should be able to have access to the performance npm, but it's not. Okay. Which need nodes to run. But it's not working. Okay. So because of that, okay.
This is a short demo.
Install and use a specific version of Node. Okay, but this is for handling. Okay. So what I want here is just being able to get that npm, but with this version 8.6.6. Okay, so downloading the binaries for that version, and that's right. Copy PNP CLM locally. All right, so if I run this, so I now have the latest version. Okay, so I'm gonna do this for the sake of the example. I can also set up a package manager, or in this case PMP version manager. This go out the scope of this video. So performing npm. So now that I installed pnpm, okay, let me remove in a recursive way the node models that were installed to prevent any conflict, and using pnp install with this newer version. And that's all. And if I now do pnp run this, I should be able to see my server here. In this case, it's taking quite a lot of time because I have a lot of things running up. And now if I go back to the browser here, there you got it. Okay, awesome, cool. So what is the next step? Is to install now uh, the Vue 3 components like this. Okay, so the Vue Google charge here. Okay, so if I go back here to the code, all right, back to the code, you got it. You add this thing, all right, and now it mentioned that the only thing that you need to do is just import that component. Okay, so let me do this here at the entry point. So by defining is the script tag where I'm going to import that component. Okay, and The Google chart component is a wrapper for the original Google chart. So it is assuming that you're familiar with the vanilla Google chart. Let me now switch to the browser so you can see what I'm reading. Okay, so it is assuming that you're familiar with the vanilla Google chart use. Okay, with View Google Charts package, you don't need to link Screen Loader and load Google Charts package manager. So add another bonus, reactive data binding. A chart will be redrawn automatically once data type and options is changed. Awesome. Awesome. Display live data on your site. Okay. So if I take a look at the guide here, and especially on now using the Geo, where it is, where is it? Geo, I don't see it. Maps. Where's the example here? Oh, no, this, by the way. In fact, let me take a look at the gallery here. Much better. I want to use this. Please set this into English. All right, there you got it. Okay, a geochart is a map of a country, a continent, or a region, which area identified in one of three ways. The region mode colors whole regions such as country, province, or states. The markers mode use circles to designate regions that are scaled according to the value that you specify. And the text mode labels the region with identifier, aka Russia or Asia. So you have markers. So you have a GeoMap. A geochart is a map of a country, continent, or a region, which area identified is one of the three ways. The region, exactly the region, the markers, this pop up, and the text. A geochart is rendered with the browser using SVG or VML, vector markup language. Note that GeoChart is not scrollable or draggable, which is okay, no problem. It's not scrollable or draggable. And it is a line drawing rather than a terrain map. If you want any of that, consider a map visualization. But for our case, no. A line drawing is good. So the regions, tile fills entire regions, typically countries with color corresponding to the values that you assign. So if I take a look at here, so this is the data that I need to provide here. Okay. So this is how you do that without using View. Okay, so you have to import the library and then load that library. So indicate which chart you want to use. Okay, so how can I identify that? Okay, is this, which is the settings. Okie dokie. Using settings props, you can specify any setting available Google Charts, loader, package, language, callback, maps, API. Okay. But in order to use this, I think you need to provide interesting. So so there is no need for any API key or none of that. That's great. So there's no need for API key or any of that. Awesome. Okay. So because the first thing what it does is to tell that library, hey, just want to load is the geochart. And the way how do you do that on view is by passing the setting, a package like this. So in my case, I just want is only to use is geochart. So back to the code. Oh, come on, man. For real. So back to the code. All right. So in here, all right, I'm going to call the Google chart, right? And provide is on the package the name of the geochart of the package we want to import from the library, which is in our case geochart. Type map. Interesting. Why do you need to add the type here? Colon chart. Okay. It is funny because they say this type map. Okay. Type colon chart. Type chart data. Use ready for something very custom. Colon chart. The question is, you mentioned type, right? What are the availability? So what are the type? What type actually does it mean for you, right? What actually type does it mean for you? At least in the context of view. Installation, usage. Yeah, question is what type does it mean for you? Type, chart type. So it's to indicate what type of chart you want to render. Okay. Core chart table and its map, but in this case, I'm assuming that it must be called is geochart, like this. This is the type geochart. Okay. And now provide this data. So this is the chart data as well as the chart options. Okay. So charts data here, in this case, they use charts data because we are using is one of the cool thing of Vue is that we can use something called reactive reference, where by defining is the chart data, okay, where in this case the data that we want to import is actually this, okay. This is the chart data, and since this is a reactive reference, we need to define that as a const in like a normal JavaScript, define a reactive reference. What you're gonna pass is this array. Okay. And if you scroll down, you can pass in the options nothing. So there is nothing in the options. All right. We can define is here the counts like chart options as for now nothing. Okay, so null or an empty object. Okay, and allegedly that'll be all to render this demo. So performing npm run def, be my guess. Okay. It actually taking longer because I think that we have a lot of things going on here. We're loading a lot of things here. And if I now go back to the browser here, failed to resolve gchar component. Interesting. Do we have that component installed? Okay. Yeah, we have that component installed from here, but he mentioned that gchar is not. So we want us to include or import this library, but it tells me like, hey, no, we didn't. I didn't import that. The question is why? Why you didn't do that? Let me now do that again. Okay, so add this here. So the package is already installed in Vue, but for some reason Nuxt is not able to recognize that. And I just want to use the package straightforward. You know, just want to use the package straightforward. So if I access to that, it say, hey, if this is a native custom, fails to resolve component gchar. Is custom element. Fail to resolve component. If this is a native custom element, it says now it doesn't work. So it seems like this component. Okay. So let me go back here to a couple examples that they provide here. Okay, so when it comes to the component, how to use that. Okay, so this is the way how do you do this. All right, so G-chart from here, and you need to call the render function. Interesting. Okay. You need to call this render function. And import Google chart from the component. But now this, interesting. But now this is not a single file component. In fact, this is a file. Okay. This is where view 3 components, view 3 concepts comes in, right? So what happened here is this. This is the guide here for that. What happened here is that we are not using the single file component. Okay. In fact, we are directly writing render functions. This is what we're doing here. This is somewhat advanced here, or extra topic here. Exactly, extra topic. We recommend using templates to build application in the vast majority of cases. However, there are situations where we need to full programmatic power of JavaScript. That's when we can use render functions. So if you're new to the concept of virtual DOM and render function, make sure to read the rendering mechanism chapter first. So what's happening here is to creating is a node and inject that, declaring render functions. However, this is if you want to have much more control, if you want the full programmatic JavaScript features, which is in our case, this is what they're doing, right? So they're defining is this a component where now they're wrapping is that. So in this case, by going back to the code and here defining a component folders called the components, okay, and inside of this, again, because Nuxt, what it does behind the scenes is to listen to whatever components you define under the composable components here. So it will take a look at this directory structure. It will take a look at the components folders, and inside of this you define is what the example described, which is Google chart. Here define here a Google chart.ts. This is a render function, not a single file component. This is the entire code from this for this simple example, right? So we're importing is to define the component and the rendering, so we can inject that, okay, as well as the Google chart, indicating the type and the data, as well as the options. Important here, okay. And then is once you save this, and now if you go back here to the chart, so instead of defining is all of this data here, we can is not even, we don't need even to import that component, because that's what Nuxt allows to do behind the scenes. And in fact, Okay, we can is just call the Google chart. So the hot mode reload runs, the nitro actually restore and reload only the necessary files that were changed. And if we navigate to the browser, we get this. Okay, that's actually pretty good. Pretty good. Interesting. As well as we have this width for that. All right. Okay. Okay. Cool. Now, if, for example, okay, because after all we can expose is the options here. So if, for example, instead of providing is so if we modify is that will show then smaller, which is great. And if we show, for example, if we pass the setting options object here, we're going to provide is the width as 100, as well as the height of 600. Now if I go back here, it's supposed to accept those properties, but no. Okay, because we didn't define here any props for that. Again, we're using is the render function. It's because it's settings. Okay. Nope. Perhaps there was some misspelling error here. The width and height. Nope. Okay. It's because they are not accepting that argument like that. Okay. So in any case, so the whole point of this is to it will re-render that. That's right. That's right. So the whole point of this is at the beginning is just to render is the proper data. Meaning is the following. So country and popularity. In this case, it's not popularity, is country. And this is the label that is going to show here. Country. Like this, country and without any of this. Just only show the country for that. And now it is time to get all of this list name, right? So we're getting all of this. All right. We can now go to here. So the question is, so once I have this, because this is one by one, and so to automate this process, I just want to transform this, so text to array. Is there any convert string to array? That's right. But no, in JavaScript, because this is a manual task, so I honestly don't want to do that. Or we can access to the browser and do something more interesting, which is, hey, you know what? I have all of this text, right? What I just want is to wrap all of them, okay, in and split. Okay, I have all of this text, all right, and I want you to split this per empty space. Per invalid escape sequence, okay, like this. Okay, so that's right, I get now this. However, now after you do that processing, I want you to only give me a set of this. This will be a set. So the finding is this new set. But again, we're going to receive is this. So I don't want to have that empty object. Okay. So what I can do is to, in this case, since after that I have a map here, so once I get this array, once I transform this array, the next thing is to remove the empty space here. So there are some couple things that we can do to remove this, by the way. Whether is if I recall that from my JavaScript, no, it was not coding challenge, it was for GS Advanced. There was a section. No, this. There was a sections to actually do this. ChatGPT to rescue me. ChatGPT to rescue. How to remove empty element in an array in JavaScript. You can use filter, that was one of them, but there are other examples. You can use reduce, new array without modifying the original one, which is what do we want? We're now with filter, which is what do we want? So I want to apply the reduce, the element, okay, which is in our case is this. I want to apply the reduce function when you have here the accumulator value and the current value, which is the element, the accumulator and the element, okay, and I'm going to check if that element for that. So if okay, so if the element is different from empty, which means it has value, so what you're gonna do is to append that to the accumulator. So let's going to make this much more easy to read. Okay, so you're gonna append that to or push to the accumulator with the element. Okay, that's right. And and return the accumulator. So you need to begin with an initial case for this. All right, and it says unexpected key return, because here let me define is something like this. Okay, so he can recognize this much more better, and after that we're going to return is the accumulator for that, and then we got it. This is exactly what happens. So what's going on here? So what's happening here is that it is iterating through all of these elements and check for that condition and return this element, which is that we will exactly what do we want from here. So what you can do is now copy this element here, copy the object, go back to the come on man, go back to the chart here, and then paste that here. Of course, because we want this is an array where each element is an array. For that, now with this resulting object, we can is split this in this case is create a new array from an array. Okay, which is create an array from an array, using the spread operator, but this is to create using a slide. But in this case is slide where here the whole point of this is to transform each one of those elements into a two-dimensional array, because after all that's what we want to do here, right? Into a two-dimensional array. So I'll put this into one element. So the thing here is that I want to transform is this. Okay. The element. So in this case, is what I want is to create is a reduce, call the reduce function as well as the accumulator, and anytime you find this element, okay, you're gonna is return the element, the accumulator dot push the element, and here this will be start like an empty array. Because it's not a function, why not? Because after all I'm defining that like that. Following is this example for this, unless you need to clarify is that which is the accumulator in this case and the element, where now this well, you need to define this and return is the accumulator. Okay. Okay. So the whole point of this is to transform this into how to, let me ask here, to transform, let me ask here here how to transform a string array into, how to transform a string array in JavaScript into an array of string. Okay, you can map that. So you can create a map for that. So by creating is a map for the result here. By creating a map for the result, where here you want is to have, you have is the element here. When he's describing is, you're going to split that to create an array of array. Oh, but this is if you have, of course, wait a single moment. No, it's to how to transform every element in an array into a a array. Yeah, this might be one way. This might be one way by calling is here map, and then you say, hey, you know what? Each element here, you're gonna return them into an array of elements. And now I have what I want, which is copy the object, and if I paste this, I will have exactly what I want. An array of, if I go back here, an array of countries, and this is exactly all of the countries that is displaying for that. However, because it has a particular notation on how to do that, now I must rely on how they call that. Now I must rely on how Google chart, in this case, this visualization, how it actually calls that. Um, Data format, exactly. Market model formats, so data formats. Region location string. All following formats are accepted. You can use a different format in different routes. A country name as a string, for example, England, or uppercase like this. England to equivalent for Great Britain, United Kingdom. An uppercase region of code name in English dash equivalent in New Jersey. A metropolitan area code. So they have now codes to represent this. Holy moly. What if I want something more user-friendly, right? But this is for metropolitan areas. Oh, lol. Any value supported by a region property. Okay. Okay. Interesting. All right. This is the code. Okay. So this will be some manual task here, by the way. But it will make our purpose. So Austria. So that's right. This is how you called it. Belgium. Belgium matched pretty well. British Virgin Island. There is nothing like that. British. British Antarctic, British, 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 Virgin Island, and this case is this. So Virgin Island British. So this is the code for this. So meaning that if I go back here to the code, I should be able to see Portugal. Iceland, Virgin Island British. It's like it's not going to render that. It's definitely, it's because that country is too small. But in any case, or VG. What about if they want to use this VG and I re-render this? It's because British Virgin Islands must be something nearby here. But yeah, it's in any case. That's a good meme. Then Bulgaria. Bulgaria is actually printed right. The next is Croatia. Croatia right. Cyprus. Cyprus right. Chechen Republic. In this case is this. Chechen. So if I save this, I should be able to see that loaded. Chechen. Here, what the hell is this? Okay, it doesn't render that properly. So if I use, for example, the another code like this, CE, and that's right. But for some reason, it's not able to recognize that as this code, Xenia. Interesting. Okay. Okay, but now we represent that properly. Okay. Once it re-rendered that, we can see this. The next is Denmark. Denmark, Estonia, that's right, Finland, France, only metropolitan area, exceptions, like that. Only metropolitan area. Of course, we crash this shit. We take a look at the example here. From the components here, the Google chart, popularity, like this. Yeah, after all, I need, well, I use practice is um, my technical skill here. Okay, so if I render this, I should be able to see the map again. Only metropolitan area. Okay. Australia, Austria, but now it doesn't show that name. Now it's not showing that name. Hmm. Now it's not showing the name. X section. Hmm. But now it's not showing that. Okay, that's possibly. This of course will crash. Hmm. And now it's able to show that. But if I add the X section flat, okay, what about, so it seems like you need some kind of data here. But for some reason it's not able to render. Now the country. Do you have any particular way to do this? I'm assuming yes. I'm assuming yes. And it must be relevant to this. And it must be relevant to this. What? What? Why you're not showing that? Why you're not showing the country name? Okay. What the hell? It's not showing the country name. But here it's doing that. So if I pass this, alright. If I pass this data, now it shows that. Okay. Wow, what the hell? But here is not loading the Jesus. Okay. Yours, what the hell? Oh my god, it's like, for real, nigga? For real, man? This is the country and popularity. That's right, country. An exception, unless you have this as a reserved keyword. You know, it's like, Jesus. Synonymous of exception. Synonymous of exceptions. Issues. Oh my god, what the hell? Exactly, it's like unexpected. I know this is unexpected because it's like, wow. What the fuck, man? And when it comes to this, what actually changed, man? Holy hell, man. Isn't that the proper name of this country? You know, must be some Austria, Belgium, Austria. So yeah, and the only thing is that it shows that. Why, man? Okay, go over here, go over here, and now let me add this check mark. Okay, that's right. Similar to this. Okay, that's all. Let's go now to look at this. And for some reason it crashed that. Why? Unless you have population, unless you have that the second parameter any value, man. Yeah, you have in the second parameter is a numeric value. Okay. Oh my god, it's because it's very narrow specific to this chart. Okay. Okay. Um so go back here to this to the chart GeoChart. Population and area. Okay, it's because you have this fixed assets here. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay, display text as an option here. Okay, so this is the way how this actually works. So, okay, this is actually how it works. Man, okay. Uh, Text label, color axis, mean value, color axis color, default color, display mode, our region text domain. hmm Of course, because they have this particular way of showing that data, so it doesn't allow you to show anything else. Population this, area this. It is, it is quite puzzling. Even though if you want to show data like this, the second argument doesn't accept that. In fact, it crashed that. It crashed it. Mm, mm, okay. Well, anyway, anyway, anyway. No, it doesn't accept that. Okay, it need is a number. Okay, no problem, man. No problem. You need a number for that. That's the second argument. Okay, chill, bro. All right, chill, bro. No problem. Yeah, all right, bro. Chill, bro. No problem. Completely, man. Completely, man. hmm Italy, Ireland, Latvia, Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia. Okay. Liechtenstein. No, man, you're not gonna. Lithuania, Luxembourg. No, you're not gonna render Luxembourg. Malta, Netherlands. You need to make this much more bigger. The United Kingdom for that. Okay. Now, if I want to render is this other countries in European area. Okay. hmm So the same techniques here, which is using is this, and then split this into this. So you can after that map that or use a reduce function to get from the accumulator array and the element and check and give me, all right, only the element that contains something. Meaning you're gonna push this element here and return the accumulator. Where this you're gonna initialize that as an array. So here I got all of this array. There you got it. And now this one is to output that result into an array. Something like this. And there you got it. That's right. So we got this as an array. Okay, that we're gonna paste right below this. We're gonna remove this as well as the last section here. Okay, so everything now is aligned to this. Once you do this, which is trim that, so trim, and then you're gonna do this. Which is much more cleaner. Okay, so it trims only the end. It doesn't matter, because here you're gonna do is this. So trim that element, and now we get our clean entrance. Okay, so from here to this, what the hell? So copy this object and paste this. Remove this additional array brackets. There you got it. Okay, now what it is to match is what, for real? They issue the, you gotta be Falcon Island? No, man. Okay, in any case, so yeah, keep looking now at this chart to actually see if, for example, Andorra is the way how they write that. That's right. Alan Island, Saint Barreau, Curacao, Falcon Island, Malvinas, or Falcon, because it seems like it doesn't recognize that. It's funny because there is a lot of country that this doesn't recognize this. You know, there's a lot of country that this doesn't recognize this. And lastly is now Asia, Singapore, Malaysia, and Japan. Okay, so here is Asia. Other countries in European area. It is funny because they consider its Falcon as European area. Oh my god. Anyway. This is Europe. Okay. So this huge array is for Europe. Okay. Now this is Asia. For Singapore, Malaysia, and Japan. Okay. Singapore, Malaysia, and Japan. So now it's able to render those as well. So Japan, Malaysia, and Singapore. So if I look Singapore here, that's right. In Singapore, New Caledonia. For real? What the hell? There's a lot of countries like what? Jesus. What a... Jesus, we're so fucking condemned. Anyway. What is the other countries? Australia and New Zealand. Alright. Oceania. Australia. And New Zealand. So if I look at here, it seems that it crashed. Of course, because there was a missing comma. Australia, that's right, and New Zealand. Okie dokie. So North America. North America, Canada, and US. So if you want to take a look at the US, Canada, and US. That's right. That's right. And then, okay. And then on South America. And then on South America. Or Latin America. Latin America. Like Brazil. And there you got it. And that's all. So these are all the countries that... Interesting. So these are all the countries that Wise issue their car. Okay, my friend. So now if I want to stringify this to make it much more easy, okay, so on here, so since now we're using is Nuxt to do this, Nuxt.com to do this, if we want to leave, for example, if we want to create some static file or hard-coded files For example, I just want to take a look at the guides here, the directory structure. So for example, assets, or no, if I want to, for example, set that things like this, like server and API. So you define here server and API. Server is already in there. That's right. Good. So you can define is mock data, mock, where here you define is the data of the countries .json, or yeah, the TS like that. So you export this model as export default as this. Okay. And here you just import that. Right below here you say, hey, let's going to import this model from the server. Come on, man. Nope. The server mock countries, where here we just import this from countries. Right. So this is the data here. And once you reload that, we should be able to load this without any issue. Okay, so this is the countries that where countries exactly. So can I get a wildcard in my country? So if I use now an H1 and I go back here, can I use the wildcard in my country? Is this right? Okay, so if I want to add now some style to this, there's some pretty basic styles here. We can add the style like text align center for that. So can I get the wildcard in my country? Okay, so this is the source for this. So here you say, you define here is source, wives help article. Okay, and for that you got source why help article. Okay, if I want to look now this on mobile, no, on mobile here, on mobile here, what is the mobile here? I think you got it here, like that. So now if I want to load this to fit the screen, okay, now I just want to do the following, right? Which is, just for the sake of the example, is to make this reactive to the width, to the viewport, okay? So since now we're using its view render functions, like this, view render function, and now I want is to pass property built-in components. So for example, if I pass properties to this, I need to define these props like this. So this is if I want to do the two-way data binding. But no, I just want to do one way on the initial loading. So here is where you define here is things like the for example is render function recipes on the component. And you can define as a props here like this, a single props, where here you're gonna receive this on the code, where in this case on the Visual Studio Code, this render function components we're going to define is the props like the width, okay, and height here, okay, and this is what I'm going to use in the options, which is something the option dot width will be whatever you receive from the props, okay. So whatever you receive from the props, which is props dot width, okay, and the height, I mean this is the options dot height of height here, but this will come from the props, okay. And not only that, then I need to define that here in the Google chart is the width, but for that, okay, you're gonna do things like this. Oh, okay, I get it. So here I'm going to define is the script, where here we're going to do some couple of things. First is to import the view model and unmounted lifecycle. This is what you're gonna do. So unmounted lifecycle, this is what what you're gonna do. Again, this is the view way of doing this thing. So, but before going into that, is there any question relevant to that using that components, so I don't need to reinvent the wheel? If you chart, if you Google chart here, so is there any way to load responsive, okay, resize the bounds, that's right. G-charts are responsive by default, they can change their width with no resize, okay. So G-charts are responsive by default, meaning so I don't need to provide any static or any of this. No, wait. Meaning that I don't need to provide is the options here because they are already reactive. Comes options like this. Okay, so meaning that is that's right. That's awesome. That's good. That's good, by the way. Yeah, there is some. Okay, so that's great. That's awesome. So it's responsive by default. So if I call this, so it is responsive by default. Simple, pretty simple, pretty simple, pretty simple. Very, very simple, man. If you can now add, for example, things more elaborated like tailwinds here, just to load more pretty fonts. No, CSS, that's right. So we can import the Nuxt model, or in this case is now to provide is something called like the color here, something like this, like stone color. We're here on this style. You define is the body, background color, this. Oh my god. Okay, and then you got it, and that's all. But if I want to set now the background color here, okay, as the background color like this. You can provide here the background color here as a string for this. All right. It can be a color like this, something less intense. All right, with this. Data less region. Okay, and data less region like this. Meaning is background color in data less region color. Something more like this. Like stone, this color here. And when it comes to provide the color for others regions, such as, for example, in this case, if I want to provide a color for the regions, the default color axis, background color, the data less region color, default color. Oh, display of color axis. Color axis. You pass an object called colors. You're gonna show is the color, but with just one color. Okay, so in our case is green, something like this. Okay, and combine this with the color that axis. If I save this, where you will gonna render? Okay, okay. For dataless region, and for the background color, something like stone color. So for dataless regions, okay, and for the background color here, something like stone, like this. So background color like that. All right, and let me now change the color of that, the color of this region. Dataless regions to color to non-Africa country, a light pink. Color axis. Okay. Color axis. So just color axis. They still have that huge color intensity. Oh, but of course, because you're providing is that. But what if I want to show is take me to the method here. Method, event, tooltip, color, region, coder version, legend, domain, display mode, default color. When for data point is your chart, when the location is present but the value is either null or specified. Okay, so default color here is in this case must be like this. So the default color. So if I go here to the visualization, that actually changes properly. Okay, this actually look good. Look good. What about using this color instead of that? No, let's going to use this. Okay, so because right now we're using is this color, but I would like to use is this. Okay, and for typography, use is sky, which means is for this. The same for this. Color in anchor tag, in anchor CSS, like this. Come on, man. Okay. So how to override the anchor color in browser. Yeah, but it seems that it doesn't work. It's here as well. So you have some preset here. That's right. And there you got it. So that'll be all for this. Okay. Can I get the white scar in my country? Okay. So now that I did that, okay. So there is no git init here. Let me now push that code, git init. Okay. However, here first let me now go to GitHub, create a repo for this. Create a repo for this. Mimic somewhat the same behavior from this, which is in this case is to modify this, which is instead of Nuxt 3 PDF reader demo, this will be called is the Nuxt 3, or in other words is the white scar. Is white scar available in my country, or can I get white scar in my country? With Nuxt, so if I take a look at the content here, just to know the name that I'm going to use here on my just to know the name that I'm going to use, or even the folder, no, the folder, the name folder. Okay, so it's this. So wise car, I prefer to put this. So using GeoMap with Nuxt 3. Okay, so look at the documentation. Now we want to take a look at the demo here. we can actually is record this, or just only copy this image and paste that for this. That's right, so this is the image that I'm going to use to import that over there, right below the assets folder under image, where in there now I'm going to drop that over there here inside of the image folder. There you got it. Image, right? And now here, look at the inspiration on how I did this, by the way, from the README. But I just want to look at a raw code. Well, yeah, okay, that's the code, like this. All right. So this is how I render this image. Okay. In this case is this, where this is located inside of here. Now, so you can see what I'm doing right now is to actually create the README. So provide me the visualization like that. And the GeoMap for that, okay, and the GeoMap for that. So also I'm going to mention is about the tools that I use here for that, which is the tools that I use here. Right below here, the tools. In this case, I didn't use any Figma design, but yeah, I rely on View 3, Nuxt 3, as well as the Google chart, View Google chart, by the way. View Google charts, by the way. Okay, as well as the Google GeoMaps, and Versal to deploy the code. All right, so also I'm going to show is the recording process. Recording YouTube process. Right now this is empty, so this is for to do that. So waiting for video to upload. Okay, and now with that, okay, now it's time to create the repo. So if I go back here to the repo like this, and here I create is on my GitHub account, I create is a repo for that. Oh my god, I don't see how can I create this. You have no notification here, new repo. So the name of this repo will be is this, the name of our folder structure. Okay, make it public, make that empty, by the way. And now let me is add this. So now if I push this range, of course there is nothing to push, but I need to add first things. Git status. I just want even to add the git ignore as well as the mp source and git commit -m to the first commit. Okay, and ultimately now it is time to push the code to the GitHub repo, in this case, which is our remote repository. Okay, and there you got it. That's right. Awesome. Look at to learn more. That's right, this is the tools. And versa to deploy this in now to finally deploy this to production. One of the great things that provide with Nuxt is the deployment of static servers, which we can host or static content on the deployment here. So the only thing that we need to do is go to the, how do you call this? Go to the Versal. Okay. It streamlined the entire CI/CD process, at least for static hosting and also for other applications, for server-side rendering, client-side rendering. But for our case, okay, is with this, where now I can tell, hey, you know what? I would like to import a third-party repository. Yep, like that, which is much more simpler. So let me look to our main repo. I'm going to pass this the URL for that. All right. Okay, so I continue. Create private Git repo. Import a different Git repository. From here, my repository name. Well, the repo name is this Wisecard available country here. But there is no need to create that because in fact that is already done. The only thing that I want is to add a new project here. That's all what I want. So if I see, for example, hey, Wise, no result found. So I just want to provide access to Versal to that specific repo. Only to that specific repo, which is Wise. Here I save this. Now Versal is able to do this. I import that because I want is just to do the Nuxt generate. That's right. So for generate static content on the disk, and then you deploy this. So behind the scene, what it's doing is, well, it's creating a Docker container most of the time. It's creating a Docker container where inside of that, it will load all the dependencies necessary for to run your application, which is Node, as well as the dependency. So it will load Docker and the necessary components and the necessary runtimes for your projects, as well as the dependency for your applications. Okay. So if I go here, so if I click here, there you got it. That's right. Awesome. Yep, that's all. So if I reload this, it automatically generates this, and that'll be all. So that'll be all as well for this video. Take care.